Okay.
How goes the battle?
It goes. Had a busy day yesterday. Calls were answered. Yeah.
Good. Different accidents and stuff.
Yeah, I had 2 accidents and a couple
A thing.
medical aids. So,
Interesting one over on Fall Road.
yeah,
I won't say more.
yeah,
It sounded that way anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
When a car heads for the water, it's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had scheduled for criminal records checks and IT, and I'm going to start off with the IT and computers first. Dan had come in.
Hey Ben, wait a minute.
Sure.
Shut it off.
You can't hear.
There you go.
Oh, I can yell if you want. Nobody's
No,
ever
stop.
accused me of being quiet.
No, we just don't breathe.
It's the hum of the motor. Can't.
Oh.
It's messing with his hearing aid.
Oh.
So Dan came in to me about a week ago, and was it a week ago? I think
Yeah,
it was
about a
somewhere
week
around
ago.
there, and said that he was looking to get somebody in to work on the computers at the stations, both stations. Yeah, because he was having some issues and some connectivity thing, and I said, wait a minute, because we've been talking to people about working here, and I'd rather us all be on the same page than to have one person doing fire and rescue, one person doing the town hall, and we know how well that always works out. So I said, why don't you come in, we'll talk. I have Mandy here, we were working on some things today. We kind of were figuring stuff out together, so she's interested as well. Kind of wanted to find out, were you guys happy with the 2 people that we've looked at? You know, we're getting to the point where we need some help with connectivity stuff. Mandy and I figured some things out today, but
that was awesome.
yeah, but that was just putting 2 heads and trying this and trying that. So, we really do need somebody like that. I know Dan needs somebody, so.
What were you gonna say? You started to speak.
You were talking about computer techs. All I knew was we were looking into a couple of people. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't talked to anybody other than those salespeople that came in here. So what's going on?
Well, it
Where are
would
we? Where
basically
we at?
be up to you guys. I did get a quote from Herb Hamlin, and if you remember right, we talked to WG Tech. I don't think you were here at that time, Paul, but we did talk to WG Tech at that time, and I'm kind of looking to see what the next step is that you guys want to go, because we need some assistance.
It'd be nice to have one point person be able to take care of the computers rather than every department having their own.
And winging it. I
Absolutely.
mean, we were able to
Agreed.
get something done today, but
We
we
winged
were
it.
winging it. You know, it'd be nice to have a go-to.
So I'm kind of looking at you guys. We have interviewed 2 people. You know, I ran into one. One came as a recommendation because some other towns have them. The other one I just happened to run into at Dee's Diner. So I need I'm looking for you guys to help us, help you, help everyone out there.
Did we ever actually set up, we were gonna do something about bidding this out or something? Did we ever actually get a chance to even set
Well, the
anything
next
up?
step is that estimate that they gave for $1,250. Herb Hamlin there. What was the name of the company?
Mosaic.
Mosaic.
Yeah.
And they were going to come in and identify issues and then try to put together a bid
Correct.
package.
Yeah.
Which I have concerns about that because this is a person that's going to turn around and bid on it. I just have an issue with that. Also, I'll be honest with you, the $1,250 is a lot of money to come in here and identify issues. I have a problem with that. I think where we probably want to go, WG Tech came in, gave us a price per hour. I'd like to get a price per hour from these guys. You know, I mean, we can You can bid it out public, or you can bid it out and you can hit certain individuals, type of thing, still post it, but you're really working specifically with certain companies that are gonna be interested. These guys did not give us a price per hour.
Sounds like as usual, we have a problem that needs to be dealt with fairly soon.
Now, when that company gave you the estimate on getting stuff fixed, was it just for the town hall? Because I haven't seen anybody over to the fire station.
No, basically, the company that gave us a number, the blocks of time and the hourly rate are for services, not for equipment, not to say, hey, you have this, but you really need this. It was basically, we don't know how to hook our printer up to the server. Can you help us out? Those they offered us an hourly rate plus a block of time, which means that the hourly rate is cheaper, but you pay for it up front. So it was just for that. How do you what's the best way to purchase 5 packages of Microsoft Office 365? That kind of thing. So that was just what that was for. It wasn't. I think they could kind of help you. They seemed very knowledgeable, both companies, so they can help you do whatever you need to get done over there as well.
WG Tech, they have 58 towns or something like that. Do you remember? I don't have my packaging.
They had quite a bit.
They're also taking on NMA.
I don't have that. I think you have the whole package.
Yeah, I have it at home. I don't have it here.
Yeah.
They're
I
gonna
just
take
had
on all
my
the techs
contacts.
for municipal.
Well, question I've got right off quick, I just know a little bit of, a very little bit of a very little bit about a home PC, so the question is, how far do we need to go into this thing? It seems like do we need to hire very, very high-tech people here? Or do we need to bring somebody in at a lower level that might not cost as much? But if we, and I can plainly see, when it comes to this information stuff, if your base isn't set up right, it's kind of like building a house. If you don't have a proper foundation, it's gonna cost us even more down the road.
For here, you have credit card payments. All you gotta do is watch the news and see what's going on.
Sure.
You got those
Yeah, but Dan
risks.
too. I mean, with all this
My
HIPAA stuff. I
Sorry,
understand.
yeah.
I wasn't there yet, actually, before I got interrupted. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I did go there.
but our computers are running
Trying to
so
move
slow
things
that
along. Yeah.
it's sometimes
I'm
hard to do a
sorry.
whole report.
Right, it's
You know?
old tech, and they need to be, a lot of stuff needs to be updated. You need fast moving stuff. We actually need some fast moving stuff in here,
Yeah,
from the
we
way
do,
I see it.
and we're waiting constantly. The systems are so old.
Oh yeah,
We
I'm
got-
still working with Windows,
We've even
Word.
got a question,
97,
I can't
2003.
even- it's
we've even got a
insane.
major question on a server in here. Is our server a server? Or
Right,
is it
right.
something that's?
It is not
Right,
a
it's
It's
not a
not.
server.
Well,
It's just
The
a hard
computer
drive.
acting as a
so
server.
there's a
It's
problem there.
It's
Yeah.
a tower. Yes.
So
And we don't have a hub. It's not our server / tower is not in a secured location, like a hub typically is.
I think it comes
So
down
we
to
don't have any of that stuff.
two. Think back to the website. Back when we had
Yeah.
those discussions.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna put names on it, but we were talking
Mhm.
the lower level, somebody that could help us out, town
Yeah.
level.
Right,
And I'm sure they could do a great job, but it wasn't going to cover the security needs that we.
right, and
Yeah.
and are they capable of putting in the proper foundation for
Yep.
that this
Down the
will
road.
grow on in the correct way and not cost so much?
Yeah, I don't think the major things right now are, hey, I can't plug this in, I don't know how to figure this out. That's not it. But if we do run into those with both these companies, you can call up and say, hey, I need some help. And they'd walk you right through it, or they'd go
Sure.
right on your computer and do it for you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
they do
I
that.
think the biggest problem is that they're just so old.
That's what it is.
They're old.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
And that is the problem with computer stuff. I think it's kind of an accepted fact. Anything over 3 years old is outdated.
And we are
So
so
you-
far beyond the 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah. 10, 12
Yeah.
years.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I think it's a twofold thing, Royce, honestly, is we need somebody who can, connect us up, not, maybe if you
Right.
tell me if we
When
had
you're
that,
saying connect
Mandy
us
and I
up,
worked
you're
with that
talking about
today.
making everything work and building a foundation. That's what we've got to do.
and talking, making it talk with the equipment we have now, and then we also need a higher tech level of people who are going to say, okay, you know, we need to replace a computer or we need to replace something. Let's go with this because you can bring in fire, you can bring in EMS, you can bring in town clerk. So, you know, eventually we can start building that.
Can I shut you off for just a minute?
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Meehan, Chief Meehan. So, does what we're talking about sound like something that you need to get fire and rescue on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, our computers, I mean, we have to do some high-tech reporting. And sometimes,
Right.
this, you know, one minute we can use the computer to do the report, and next minute we can't. You know, they're just that outdated. And I did have somebody come in and give me an estimate, because I know that I've asked before what's going on with getting one central person for everything, computer-wise, you know, virus-wise and everything else, and it's always up in the air. So I just had somebody come in, and he basically told me we need not so much newer computers, but updated, refurbished computers.
Yeah.
So.
Now, my next question would be, here I am, where I am leading the conversation.
I like it.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Go Royce.
How many other
they're all about
departments,
technology.
how many other departments, in all honesty here, need this now? Rather, so what I'm getting at is, we're probably talking about building one big base of operations with computers. They will all be interconnected.
Down the road.
It's online, takes
Down the
care of that
road.
Great.
anyways.
Down the road would be great.
Yeah.
Yep, well, they should be. You know, I mean, at least be able to converse with one another and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Which is why I recommended going with one company that
For
can,
everyone.
can allow us to do all of those things that we're looking to achieve.
Okay. So.
So someone that has
You got talking
worked
pockets.
with us.
It happens. There isn't something you gotta go for.
No, not yet.
Okay.
So what I got out of the conversation with Mosaic though was they were gonna for $1,250 come in, look around, get a better feel for what equipment we have, where our problem areas lie, and then build a bid spec sheet
Right. and
for us. I don't know. I just don't
Right,
really.
were they talking just the town office? That's what I thought they were doing.
Well, they were probably gonna come here. That's what. Yeah, I think we were talking
Just
just.
talking the town office.
Yeah.
If they had to go meet with Dan, now there's another one.
Yeah. I don't know that that's really what we particularly need right now, just to put a bid together.
So that's basically just a consultant. They're just gonna come in and
Okay,
tell you what you
and
need
that's
to
why
do
we're
and charge
talking.
you for it.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be fine if they came in, but I don't know if they need to have a $1,200 fee with it.
Yeah, and
That's my problem. Was a $1,250 fee.
When you had Inslee,
Yeah.
was he all right?
Well, as far as I know, I haven't seen a whole lot of him lately. He hasn't done. He doesn't really want to do it anymore, from what I'm hearing. Yeah, from him too.
No, but the rates weren't that bad, were they?
Sometimes they do it for free. Sometimes he wouldn't, depending on what it was. So,
Depends on
and you would pay when we did pay. You were paying right in the same ballpark as these.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did write up I had written up a kind of a minor IT packet, RFP backlog, you know, with no specific lines into computers and hardware. I just wrote in here, you know, recommendations, you know, software installation, upgrades, you know, recommendations on software purchases, you know, do we really need 40 different types of, I'm sorry, I am responding kind of packages, because we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things. I don't know if you guys still have this around. I sent it out like last March,
I
or
have it
maybe
somewhere.
February.
I'll probably get it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, is this something you want to start with? Because I'd rather get this moving along.
Where'd you get that? Is just something you made up?
It's something I made up,
Okay.
so I took some ideas.
We could look and pursue like other towns, see if anybody's looking for any IT help. I don't know, you know, just like
I
everything
can
else we
use
bid on, we can.
MMA listserv,
Sure.
the clerk's listserv.
So you want us to make an appointment with you and come back on Thursday?
Fine with me.
Yeah,
I'm
that
coming in
works.
Thursday
That works.
anyway, at 4.
We'll piggyback off. I'll piggyback off of
I have
Mandy
a
if you
I'm
want
off
whole
to
other
be here.
packet for
I'm gonna
you.
be able Thursday.
Do you want to be here
I'm
for
gonna be
this
able Thursday.
I know. Do you want to be here for this conversation?
No, just make it
Okay.
happen.
So then,
No.
See,
then Mandy and I can piggyback off of her time and bring those in and show you what we have, and then we'll fill Dan in and tell him how it is.
Because it's not like we have, you know, $75,000 sitting to go do this massive
We don't.
system.
That's
I know.
right.
So that's why I
right.
don't think that, hey, I don't need every little problem identified. We've
Mhm.
talked a little bit,
Right.
you know, as they're in here and helping us.
Right.
Okay, next step, next year, let's look at this, you know, and we could do it that way.
It would be
Yeah.
nice to have someone who's maybe not the top of the line, but someone who's done this before, that if we're as we go, we
Yeah.
can.
Yep.
And at least, I think we need you to come in and meet with whoever does this in the office, if you
Oh,
don't
most
mind,
definitely.
and
Yeah. see
see what it's gonna take to get, cause that is real important, that we're in a whole new situation with fire rescue.
You got HIPAA there, you got concealed weapons in here, you know, you got
Yeah.
credit card information
Yeah.
here, there's,
Yeah,
we
but
wanna
you're
make sure
starting
everything's
to
protected.
like
Yeah.
go lick
Yeah.
and split, right? And you're
Absolutely.
required to do them online.
And we have a time frame for our medical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if
And
your
then we have
system-
24 hours, but I don't want to have to take 24 hours to be able to get
you
it in
shouldn't
there.
have to.
You know? You know, and some of these people are like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to do their report to make sure it gets on time.
And if you have the
You
wheel
know.
of death and you're not going anywhere.
Now, EMA's no longer a really small thing from some of the stuff, things now.
No, and
Your
on another
county
note,
and
I'll
all
be
that
meeting with them
too.
this week.
So that's another situation that the computer will help you out, right?
Okay, Mandy will look on the listserv. I have my little doodad here, and Mandy and I will work together, and we'll meet back with you guys.
Shoot for getting it posted for the 1st of August or something.
Yeah, I'd really like before something major happens.
Yep.
And
Well,
we
it's
just
kinda
kind of
like-
flap it around.
I know you
for
wanna
Geek
move things
Spot or
along, but the
something.
second week of August would be more appropriate for me.
Oh yeah, you guys won't be here.
Yeah, Ben's gonna be gone.
Well, I mean, if we
So-
pound out the
Maybe.
detail, what I'm saying is pound out the details now before that,
Right.
and then get it posted
Yeah.
that week.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to be here anyway.
Okay.
Sure?
Alright, so we'll move back here, and we'll pull Dan in. Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
And then we have criminal record check stuff. Do you want to hang out?
No, I am
Nope.
leaving. I am leaving.
I'm so out, she says.
Yeah, peace. I have stuff. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mandy.
Okay, so we had started talking back along.
You can't move over there because then I have to keep going like this to see you. There you go. Snuggle.
Okay, my husband will know what you've been doing up there. So we had met a few weeks
I'm
ago
snuggling
in
with you.
regards to criminal records checks, and that has been transferred over to me. I've gotten back all of my paperwork. I'm finalizing the very last bit of it. But my question to you was, in the past, we've never really had a policy on criminal records checks, who we're going to do them to, what we're going to do, etc. Fire was doing theirs, and they were doing a criminal record check and a driver's check. The criminal records check was once when you came on, and the driver check was every year. And then the rescue, I believe, I don't know for sure, was doing criminal records check and driver, but I'm not sure how often they were doing them. So I kind of wanted to get a feel from you guys on what you want to do, how you want this to roll forward, who you want to start with, you know, those kind of things, so we can start building a policy. You asked me to have Dan come in so we could all talk about it. So he's here, I'm here, and we're ready. It's free in the state of Maine to do a Maine criminal records check. A Maine criminal records check is not a federal one, so it only does the state of Maine. I think it's important to clarify that. So if you have somebody from New Hampshire or somebody from Maine who got in trouble in New Hampshire, it's not
Well, that's
going
the
to
thing,
show
'cause, I
up.
mean, we have a lot of personnel
So
now
close to the border.
that we're, yeah, and they're coming from across the border. So, How
And
much
I'm
is
willing
it?
to work with New Hampshire at some point as maybe like rolling it in a secondary.
Yeah.
You know, let's start with this. Let's start with Maine. Here's our policy. You know, I'm willing to call New Hampshire. They may be cheaper. When I did it back years ago, before teachers had to be federally done, I think it was $35 or $25. I can't quite remember. So it's somewhere in that category. So we could certainly work with them. Could work. Maybe you guys decide you want to do federal instead. I think it's $55 a piece. Then you cover everything. You know, it's
How often, like on firefighting, once you're trained as a firefighter, level 1, level 2, you got it.
You get it.
You don't do any additional education. EMTs you do, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
They don't do that kind of thing with a license for the state of Maine, EMT license, BA.
Well, you get a
Alright.
recert every couple of years.
But I mean, every other, I'm
Education.
just curious, do they do a criminal background check?
No, not the state.
so there's nothing they do.
Because like you're saying, like school teachers every 5 years roughly, so I didn't know whenever the
Well,
certification comes back.
Yeah, it depends on what your policy is. You know, when you're dealing with the students, sometimes, and it, you know,
That'd be a
again,
year.
it's all about if they've been caught or not.
Yeah.
You know, if they have never been caught, then it's not going to show up. So it's not 100% foolproof. You know, I would assume that Mike Longden is doing it once a year through our insurances for driving. I mean, I don't see why we really need to do driving. Do you?
No.
If we're putting them through our insurance company.
Yep.
So I guess I'll lead and say, do you guys want to continue doing new hires
Maybe new
for
hires once
fire
a year.
and rescue?
Do you want to do them once a year too?
Well, let's start off with, do you want to continue doing new hires for
Absolutely.
fire and rescue?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, you have to know the person that's coming in. You have to have any records or anything else.
Yeah.
Especially if they're gonna be driving our vehicles, you wanna do a driving record to find out what they have.
Can I get a consensus from the board on that? I have
Consensus,
one yay.
yes.
So I've got two. Okay.
Lost it.
Now, what about new hires for
Yeah, Ben's still
everywhere
thinking.
else?
Yeah, that's all right.
Are
But
you
if
still
you,
thinking?
if you're hiring people, it'd be like any other job. You're gonna do a criminal background check. You're gonna check their driving record. I mean, look at the apparatus
Oh.
they're gonna drive. So.
Okay, so yeah, so in the past though, let me ask you this, because let's say I'm coming from another town, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm just gonna start doing part-time shifts, and I'm in EMT basic, okay, or whatever. So you're gonna do, so I'm gonna sign on. I'm gonna sign on with Lebanon Rescue. You're gonna interview me, and geez, Ben, I think you're gonna be a great fit. I'm gonna sign on. So now you're gonna do a criminal background check because a new hire.
Right.
Okay. So now the question I have would be, does Maine EMS, do you contact Maine EMS to find out if there was any issues with them, disciplinary issues or anything like that?
No, that's good. That's a good avenue to check.
Yep. And just because before it would have been pretty well sealed up. There's a new law going in effect. I believe it might already be in effect. That if there's an issue with your employees, they have to alert the town as well as the chief. So yeah, so that'd be kind of interesting to check into, see if there's any issues that way.
So you want to check
Yeah, I'm
into
gonna
that
check
and
that,
see
yeah.
if you can do that?
Yeah.
Because I don't see why there would be, you'd have to do a criminal records check if you now have access to that. Do you think it would cover it, or you want to check on it? And
I can
report
check on it. I
back
don't know if it's
and-
I think they're two
Check on it,
different
yeah.
things. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing for the last 2 years, it isn't pulled together as nearly as close as you'd like to see it pulled together with Maine EMS, and criminal background checks are going to be totally different than license
They're
issues.
only gonna know about your license issues. They're not gonna know about if you stole stuff from a store.
When I had it, but
Yeah,
and I said that way back when I had my real estate license, it was state license. But man, if you got a speeding ticket, you better call up there and you better tell Augusta, because if they find out, you're gonna be in trouble. You know, so I mean, that was how much stress they put on you, you know, to keep everything in check.
Aw.
And no, I mean, I don't mean it that way, but you know what I'm saying? It just flabbergasted me that they don't do that with
Yeah,
medical licenses,
yeah.
you know.
Okay, so we're gonna continue to do fire and rescue new hires.
Yep.
Okay. And you're gonna check
I'll check on
into,
that this week on
Mainly men. Yeah.
EMS checks.
yeah. And there's a consensus on doing that.
Don't you need a motion?
No.
You're
Well,
with
I
that.
gotta write
You're
a
with
policy
that,
and
right?
then they have to adopt the policy.
Hmm.
You're with that.
Okay, so I'll add that in. What about new hires for other staff? Do you wanna do all new hires?
We have to with the library. We already know that by contract.
Yeah?
New hires and periodical.
Because they're with kids, they're near kids.
Correct.
Does that say federal or is it Maine? Cause I don't have access to federal.
I'd have to double check.
Or I'll check.
I'm not even sure if they specify. No. I think, personally, I think it's not a bad idea. I guess it would be dependent on, I mean, if we're going to do bonding, I would think they take that into, like your employees here in the office.
Yeah.
They're going to look at that. They're not going to bond you probably with a criminal background. So I don't know.
well-
It doesn't cost us, I suppose. So
We do personal bonding and we do pooled bonding. By law, I have to be personally bonded. Mandy has to be personally bonded. And then there's what we call pooled bonding, where we buy a rider saying that we have a bond in a pooled area because the risk is low. For selectmen, you're in the pooled bonding. You know, I've questioned whether other people ought to be in the pooled bonding, but I'm not sure. So, so we have those kind of things. If you're being personally bonded, they're going to check into that. If you're being bonded from the
Sure.
pool rider, they're not going to check into that.
well, yeah, and I kind of caught myself too. It's not costing us anything. So I mean, you might as well check every new employee.
Not a bad idea. You don't know what's gonna come out of the woodwork. Oh, sorry.
Jeez, I wish we had that years ago.
I keep getting told to be quiet, so I'm listening.
Oh, did I
now.
tell you to be quiet? I'm sorry.
You did, he did,
Oh,
everybody.
that's
No.
fine.
So I'm just listening.
I would say
Sometimes I gotta
everybody.
keep you guys going.
What do you think?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, we could be discriminating too.
Let's say every new
You
hire.
could be in trouble if you do, and in trouble if you don't.
And then I guess the question really, I mean, to me that's a no-brainer, new hire. But then
Okay.
how often?
So we're gonna do all new hires. Okay, then the question comes, how often? Do you only do them once when they come in? Do you do them, you know, every year, now remember who has to do this, okay, guys?
I say every 6
Um,
months.
Yeah. Every month.
Every 30
Every
days.
July 1st.
I say-
Especially if they
I
handle-
say we-
Especially if they're in charge of a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
I say we bring somebody else in to do it then.
You got a part-time person
Well,
coming.
we do have that coming, so, I mean, maybe Mandy will be nice enough to share. I don't think so from what I'm hearing,
Well, she's
but,
not here, so give it to her.
oh, Mandy.
Andy.
The
No,
way things
she's got a
are-
part-time person coming.
Yeah, I know, but
So, maybe she'll be nice to share, right?
I want to look into that too a little bit more. Why don't we look into that a little bit more on how often?
Yeah,
Because-
we probably ought to
I remember
consult-
reading something
do a little
about that.
consultation with the with MMA possibly.
Yeah, I was there's something in the back of my brain about that. I know drug testing there's something
Yeah.
there, but I want to double check that. Let's double check.
You want me to check with MMA, you wanna check with MMA, you wanna
Yeah.
scoot your brain, or, I would
No, I mean,
recommend
I'm-
whatever policy we set in place. We also pass by legal before we say
Exactly.
this is our policy.
Right.
But, we've never had one, so I think it would be good to have one.
Let's look into that. How often? Every so whatever.
Do you want me to look into it, or
Sure.
Dan? I think Dan.
I'm
Dan.
gonna spell it.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to spell MMA.
There you go.
I'm gonna go back through some of the books I got.
It's like MEA, only with an M.
Okay, that gives me a place to start, so I'll start putting that in, find some of this other information out. We'll start doing all new hires. Do you want to do that immediately, even though we don't have a policy, or?
I
Yeah.
think so, absolutely. I don't know where you're at, but last I knew, you might be looking at bringing outside towns in, so.
Well, I would do them anyway because they've always been done. We just haven't done it with all new hires, and we're looking at
Yeah, looking
hiring
at a couple, three.
two, 3 people right now.
Just a
So
little side question on that. Now, suppose you do bring someone in, say from another, I'll say New Hampshire Fire Department, and they've already gone through a recent criminal check. Should we accept that?
I don't see why we couldn't if it's updated, if it's recent.
That's what I'm saying. That's something that's
Yeah.
recent and updated. Yeah, sure.
well, I can only do Maine right now unless you guys want to pay for it. I mean, I'm certainly willing to talk to New Hampshire and see
Yeah.
if we can, but I was kind of looking at that being another tier
Well,
that we
given,
could work on.
you've got a little more free range at the moment, with personnel coming in over there.
Because we do have.
So at some point, though, my question, I guess, they have access to their personnel files, so if they're coming from wherever, then a lot of times they bring their certs,
Mm-hmm.
and so if they had criminal background check, we could request that. Boy, if you had a recent one, we'd like that too, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
right?
if it's recent, yeah.
Within whatever the last couple months,
Yeah, sometimes
60
the
days
towns
or
will.
something, 30 days, whatever we want to make the cutoff be.
Yeah, sometimes the towns will release those, but where they pay for them typically, because we had that problem with substitutes. And then that made us responsible. If we release it to the substitute and they change it, then we're responsible, whereas they come directly from the state.
Okay.
So you might be able to get that in some instances, but some instances
Sense.
not. So those were some of the things that we ran into before. If you can get it, great. If not, that would be something totally different, and that would most likely be why. But I can only do Maine as it is right now, unless you guys want to talk about New Hampshire right now. So even, those guys coming over, they're only going to get Maine, and if they haven't done anything in Maine, then it's not going to show. So,
Yes, right. That's kind of where I had a lot. Because mostly thinking about
being a border town.
fire rescue. you
Yeah.
know. And that's where Maine EMS is going to come in a lot handier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if they're coming in, even from New Hampshire, they've got to apply for a Maine license.
Yeah. Well, they would have to, if they don't
And they
already
have to
have
do
one,
all
they
that.
have to apply.
Yeah.
So they would have to do all that anyway.
Yeah, well, is a criminal check required?
Yeah, there's checks done through that. Yeah.
Through EMS, so
Yeah.
we may be doing unnecessary paperwork.
So I'll find out.
It's really quick though.
Yeah.
So. All right, we'll start there. And I'll start working on a policy, see what MMA says. Dan will check with EMS and we'll come back.
Sounds good.
All right,
Hey, plan?
sounds good to me.
All right, get to work.
I got 3
What do
POs
you
here I
like?
want to talk to you about.
Oh,
I'm
is that on the agenda?
I'm totally.
You're here, dear.
Oh, hold them until the next meeting, you guys.
All
And
right.
I don't have to keep
Right,
it.
You want to talk about the other stack I gave you too?
No, those are POs. These aren't really POs. These are more asking
Yeah.
for reimbursement.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I
Yes,
didn't know. Were they emergencies or is that why they're coming in after the fact?
Well, this one was our
I think the light there
fire
was already done anyway.
extinguishers,
Yeah.
and it's hard to have them come in and assess everything and give a PO and stuff like that. This is one of those services that it's like the oxygen. It just needs to be done, so that's why that is done like that.
Okay.
The light.
You already had a PO on that, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So they would have been
So-
last fiscal. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That one I'm not
she
so
ended up
much.
ordering the light because it needs to get done. Trucks need to get inspected.
But these POs have the receipts
That one does.
attached
This
to
one
them.
Yeah,
So-
if Dan has, then I
Yeah.
just put him through it. I
Yeah.
just put him
So you
in
guys
the-
can see that I'm not just asking for money.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
letting her know. 'Cause
Yeah.
they would,
And this was our one of our fire pumps was down, and it was instead of trying to do a PO and all that, let's just get it fixed.
Brushing.
So he just fixed it, and it
I
was
think that was the one I had the biggest
$20.
question on. Yeah. Well, then, that's what it is right now. We haven't got the procurement policy in place yet.
No, I know. And sometimes, I try to get them in. I don't know which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. I try to get as many in as, especially if Jeanette says I haven't turned any in a couple of days, I get to write out some.
Yeah.
So,
I've gone through the other ones. I think these guys still got them. But
I think Mr. Lisa.
one other question I had was looking on the Facebook page for EMS, Lebanon EMS official
Yeah.
now. And I'm confused, I guess, is a fund drive going over at Papagino's, or did happen, or is coming up, or something?
yeah, there's some, I guess, I don't know if I think it's a corporation thing.
Is
It's
that
not.
fire court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't be promoting that as a town entity. I mean, I know it's not the town Facebook page, but I don't know. That gets kind of going back to where we came from. It's a little scary. A lot of people get them confused in their heads what's what, whether it's department, whether it's corporation. So I'd like to get away from that.
What are we talking about here? Explain that.
Fundraiser going
Who
for
has the fundraiser?
I-
Who has the fundraiser?
I believe it's the fire corporation through Papagino's.
What is that?
It's I don't know much about it because I'm not in a corporation, so I only, I kind of keep myself away from it. But they're doing a fundraiser at Papagino's. I don't even know when it is, but they're gonna, as people come in and they have the flyer, there's so much money that's donated back to the corporation.
Some of the proceeds will go
Yes.
into that fund.
Do you know what they're raising
Who
funds?
draws on that fund?
The corporation.
The corporation, how do they dispense that money?
You'd have to talk to the president, Andy.
So how are we gonna get involved in that?
Contact Andy.
Contact who?
Andy.
Andy, okay.
Well, Dan's here. Can I just? We have been talking to Dan about the flagpole in front of the rescue.
Oh, you passed it.
And we have been talking about, we already have 3 people willing to donate $100 towards a new flagpole. We'd like, Sandy and I would be able to do some kind of fundraiser and try to get them a new flagpole before Labor Day. And, they're planning on painting the rescue building very shortly. As soon as they have a week's worth of nice weather, they're going to paint that. And Sandy and I would like to include getting them a new flagpole. Sandy's been talking to a couple of people about dollar amounts, but we don't want to accept any money until we know the dollar amount. We're going to post the dollar amount we need, and as each donation comes in, we're going to post how much we got and the balance of what we need. So, because we hold you guys fully accountable, we're going to be fully accountable as well. We don't want any question about that. So, but we're going to try to raise the money to get them a new flagpole. He's going down there after working over in Rochester and spending hours trying to get that darn thing at half staff. And
Yep. So, are you donating the funds, and then who's going to get the flagpole? Or are you donating the flagpole?
we're going to do, from what we understood, we have to donate the flagpole, correct? Because Sandy's been talking to, I guess it's Yankee
That way.
flagpole.
Yeah, it'd be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's been talking to them about not only the flagpole, but an installed price for the flagpole, so that you guys don't have to worry about
Yep.
getting somebody down there to install it or any of that. They come and they put it in, and it'll be a regular, everyday, normal, not,
The person I contacted, the
Hear what she's talking about?
I haven't been able to.
Because what we'll have to do is then you would have to come in and present it to the town, and
Right.
then we would have to vote to officially accept it. So
Well-
I think you probably want a preliminary where we going with
right.
this before
That's
you know
why
that.
we wanted to talk to you
I have no
today,
issue
because
with
we
it. I
don't
think
want
it's
to
a great
collect
idea.
money from people, and then you guys say, well, we're not accepting it.
Just I had seen some policy in the past about accepting things as gifts. So does
That's
this
as
come
employees.
under that, or
That's
is
an
it
employee,
a
not the
different
town.
thing?
As an
Different
employee,
thing?
not
That's
as
an
a
employee,
town.
not the town.
Okay.
Well, and not only that, but didn't we just have a referendum on the June 9th ballot to allow the selectmen to
That's right,
accept
I believe you did.
gifts as long as they are we say this is for the rescue
Donations.
department, and that's where it goes, right? I mean, we just voted on that,
Not
right?
gifts, but donations. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But it's a lot easier if they do the whole flagpole rather than the funds for it.
Right, and that's what we were considering, is just gathering the money together,
How far
paying
can
the
you
guy
push-
from
How far
Yankee.
can you push the word donation, that's all, will it include a flagpole? As far as I'm concerned, great. But
I don't see
usually
why it wouldn't.
donations are looked at as money, but a good, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, you're right, right. Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
we're not giving it
somebody
to
could donate us
Dan
a
or
brand
to
new fire truck,
Wendy.
and I'm sure Dan would be willing to accept it.
Well, if somebody
It goes
donated a
around.
brand new fire truck to the town, that would be an awful nice gift, wouldn't it?
So we should be able to accept things.
Yeah, we're not donating it to Dan. It's not Dan's to take with him if he should leave. We're donating it to the
On
town. So,
behalf of the town, Dan could accept things. I'm sorry.
Correct.
I didn't say that plainly enough.
right.
The problem with these flagpoles, and I'm not sure if you know how they work, they're telescoping, they gotta be locked and unlocked and everything else. I was down there
Freeze
today
up
and it's
in the
really a
winter.
two-person
Yeah.
job. And that was after I fixed clips and everything else. It would be easier to have
Yeah.
like
I'll
a
take them
flagpole
all
that's
right
out
I was
back.
gonna say it's gonna be one similar to like this one out here where it cranks and
Right.
he takes the crank inside so nobody's stealing the flag. and messing with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So can
That would
we
make-
Nice.
Paul.
I'm all for it.
can we get the three fellows here to say go ahead and get the funds?
Yeah. You got two.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Still, when you're ready and whatever, like I say, just officially come in and present it, and we'll officially vote and fix it.
Right. I think
Most
I
likely
think
accepted.
we'll probably be calling your wife now to see if we can get ourselves a booth at the festival to collect the funds for that.
There you go. Tell her I said hi because I don't see her.
I see her more than you do.
Yeah.
I